This is a Zelda game, and this is Echoes of Wisdom. So right off the bat, I thought it was interesting. I actually thought this was going to be Link's Awakening DLC because it's very much in the Link's Awakening style, of course. And I agree that I think the style looks great. I think a lot of people thought the style looked great, and this is the way to go for new 2D Zelda games. So it's a nice thing to see 2D Zelda games still living and not doing Breath of the Wild shit. But here it is, everybody. The CDI lives. The Philips CDI lives once again. This is a Zelda game. You are playing as Princess Zelda here. And I figured when I saw this, I'm like, uh-oh, here comes the controversy. People are going to be championing this, and they're going to be hating this because you're playing as Zelda, and that is
It's
already...
being manufactured. Like, I think
Yeah.
people are genuinely trying to buzz it up with each other. I don't think it's natural.
Yeah. And I think, I'm not the biggest Zelda guy, but I've always been interested in Link's Awakening. If I ignore all the controversy and bullshit and everything, I think it does look good. And I don't think Nintendo, on Nintendo's end, is trying to do any of the controversy or they're trying to get into the politics or anything of that. I think the way that Nintendo designs games, and you have to remember this, they don't design games just to make games. They don't design games as a continuous series or add a new story. The way Nintendo designs games is they come up with a new game mechanic first. They think first about how is a game going to be different, and then they say, that's a cool idea. What game do we put that in, and what's the story we craft around that? So they have to have a good, fun game first before they go ahead and make a game. And the mechanic for this one is the mirroring mechanic. The fact that Zelda has a wand that can mimic and mirror and duplicate anything, and then she can use that in the world. And that's going to make this game played in so many different ways and make it unique and fun. And you're going to see all these like funny videos on how people are just breaking the system. So they came up, I'm pretty sure, I'm guessing, but they came up with that idea, and then they're like, okay,
Oh, yeah. They
what
came up
game...
with the gimmick before the game, in my opinion.
So then they were like, this gimmick's cool. We should make a game out of it. What game does it fit into? And then it slowly came up like we could do a Zelda game with that. It's like, well, why don't we do a game where it's Zelda doing it? And it's because Zelda can use a wand.
I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if they even had the Princess Peach concept on the board around a similar time. And they've like spaced out these launches, but like they were trying to figure out what would fit better because the Peach game has some resemblance to a few things they're doing in this. If you're thinking on like the magic transformation aspect, so it's kind of interesting to look at that. It's like they are two concepts that are very different in some ways and very similar as well. And I'm not just going off of two women characters having a main game. I'm saying that they're both magic concepts at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I think they had a bunch of ideas on the table and they picked a few out of them. There's probably ones we don't know about yet that are upcoming. And they were like, what does this fit? Which IP does this fit? Which IP does this fit?
Yeah.
And that's how it
100%.
rolled out, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm in complete agreement with you. Also,
so
they said...
Are you excited for this game?
No. But I'm more excited to play Link's Awakening. I want to play... I still need to play through Link's Awakening, and then maybe I'd be more excited for it. I just think it looks fun and looks good, and I'm sure Zelda... Like, I think it's good for Zelda fans. I'm not going to play it because there's other Zelda games that I would prefer to play that I've never gotten to. So, but that's just me. Also, they showed the Nintendo Switch Lite that is Zelda themed. Don't fucking fall for that. That is a last move to get money and shake money out of the Switch to try to make it go up in the ranks from the 3rd spot to the 2nd or 1st spot.
I mean, if you don't own the system though, and you want to port it, like if you want a Lite, then buy it.
Yeah,
but
sure. But
if you're on like your 3rd Switch in your house, you don't need it.
Yeah,
don't. I mean, unless
that's
you
what
want
I'm saying.
it.
Like, don't. Yeah, you guys do whatever you want with your money, but
this
it's
is
like...
the same as the 3DS, right? Like near the end of the XL cycle, they just were pumping out like different.
Yeah, let's see how
skins.
many different versions we can make to get everyone to buy new versions of a system they already have, and so that's why they're doing that.
To me, this is kind of a collector's dream. I understand if people want this. I also think that this light looks better than the other lights. The Pokemon light looks very ugly. And I also did, in general, I would say on the Switch life cycle, the only ones that look good were the Animal Crossing Switch and now this Hyrule Light. I think those are the only two ones that look good. The rest were very uninspired for the most part. I didn't like them going with gray with a lot of them. For example, the Smash Bros. One and the Diablo one I didn't think looked great either. And then the portable Pokemon ones, none of them look good. There were a lot of vibrant color lights. I think they look fine.
Yeah.
but the best like docked one would be the Animal Crossing one. I think second place would go to the Mario one that they released very late in the cycle. That was like I think an OLED, or it might have not even been an OLED, but they had like a Mario one that was like red. That looks good too.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
But with Zelda, I will just say I personally will play this game. I'm looking forward to it. I do have complaints about it. I don't like the visual style at all. If people say that they don't like the Wind Waker art style with Zelda, I don't like the Link's Awakening art style personally. I don't like the style with the one that they brought to the Switch or this one now either. I think it looks ugly and like toys. It doesn't look Zelda to me. My other complaint
I like
about
it.
this game is I do like the magic. I mean, Wands of Gamelon, I'm excited on that aspect, but they could have done so many different things with Zelda's magic, and I don't know the entire game yet, so maybe they'll do some of this. But you should have given me like a Smash Bros. Zelda instead of what they're trying to do with this whole like build beds and then you can climb and do all like it's just kind of quirky and weird. And it's like Zelda has magic that can be taken more seriously. And I feel like you're kind of just making a joke out of her ability when she has really cool abilities that she can do. Oh, look, she can build this. It's like they're trying to do like a Tears of the Kingdom, like build things together system in a more simplistic way.
Well, like Tears of the
I don't
Kingdom,
like it.
they're like users are gonna break this day one and find like all this wacky shit to do.
It's like I feel like I'm looking at scribble knots. It's really annoying to me. What I've
Maybe that's why I
hoped
think it
for
looks
is
good.
that
I like scribble
I
notes.
I wish that they yeah, but not in my Zelda games. I wish that they gave her a bow. And I hope that they put that in later because Zelda is awesome with a bow. She's even had a sword before. I think that would be fine. But I'm good with them going with the magic route as well, but you should have taken her magic more seriously. I like that you can possess the enemies or whatever. That's cool. But I don't like this. Let's just take household items and stack them high. I think that's really like belittling like the abilities of Zelda.
No,
So
I
that's my biggest complaint. And then the art style I can look past, but I do think that the character models, especially for Zelda and Link, look like toys, and it's very ugly. But I think Ganon looks good in it. I think that the world looks okay. Um, yeah,
I disagree.
I'm
I
still looking
mean,
forward to it.
I like the art style. I like how Link's Awakening looks, and I think the mechanic is pretty smart and great. The mechanic is more appealing to me than anything in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. And like I said earlier, it's like this is how they design games. So
It's
like
pretty much the mechanic in Tears of the Kingdom, though, because it's like you can put this together with this, and then you'll make this, and it's like I
no,
don't
this
want like
this
I
is a
want
mimic.
actual magic. I know it, yeah, but it's like I don't care if you do things like she stands on a big ice platform, for example. But when you're like, let's like stack like beds and planks of wood and pots and stuff to climb to platform, you're really belittling the character, in my opinion.
I mean, what's to belittle? It's fucking Zelda. But anyway, that's.
What do you mean? Zelda's an amazing character.
Oh,
Do you know how? I'm not gonna get into this argument with you
it's
now
too
when we're already
late.
way over time. We're like
Way
an
over
hour over
time.
time. But Zelda is a very powerful and impressive character, and she ultimately does so much
Yeah,
for
she
the
can make
story.
20
And
beds. That's
I think
powerful.
that's fucking cringe that
That's
they're
great. I
melting it
wish.
down to she's making like all this like
I
stuff to climb. Oh, climb your furniture. Why
yeah.
don't you give her cooler things to do? Why didn't you give me a fucking Zelda chic thing? That would have been fucking cool.
Nah, I wouldn't. I
That would have
wouldn't have
been so
cared. I
fucking
wouldn't have cared of
awesome.
that. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. No, if it was all that. I want my Zelda.
I think it would have been way better.
I want my Zelda to clone 28 chickens. And so I want to go into a fight and be like, chickens, cuckoos, and then you just go.
Yeah, lowest expectations, Legend of IKEA, exactly.
Yeah, that's way more
I find it
appealing.
insulting. I find it insulting. I think you could have been done way better things with a Zelda game. I will still play this game. It still interests me, but they could have done way better.
No, I think it's great. I think think about it. Think how powerful, this is the most powerful Zelda has ever been. She can literally look at anything in the world. You're underestimating her power. Look, Zelda has solved world hunger with this ability. She can literally, she is like the Star Trek fucking generator machine. She can literally just look at a steak, take it, and be like 9,000 steaks. There you go. There you fucking go. That like she is a god. She's a fucking god. She goes to fight Ganon now. She can go boop, and then she can be like, "Here, Ganon, I can't fight you. Have fun fighting 1,000 clones of you." She is so much more powerful than she has ever been in this game. This game looks great. You're selling me more on this game with your hatred of it.
Cool. I don't hate the game. I just think that Zelda could have been treated way better. And I don't fucking care about this woke, non woke argument. I don't think Nintendo's trying to be woke with Zelda at all. And I just like, at the same time, I'm going to criticize the game loop. I don't think the game loop is great. I think that they could have done better. It'll be fun to a certain degree, but there's so many cooler things you could have done with this character. Again, as a Wind Waker fan, I've seen what Zelda's capable of, and I think that it's a little insulting. And same with things. I
Then you
like the.
have Katamari Zelda, where you just
Oh
have a
my
giant
god.
ball of Zeldas, because there's a million of them, and she has to roll them all up in a ball, and goes da
Ooh.
da 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 da. I think she's insane.
Sure, whatever. I
Could she
like the
clone the
necromancer thing
world?
that they're doing in the game, but that's about it.